Alrighty, hi everybody, and welcome back to another one of my YouTube live streaming. My name is Executor, and in this live stream, we are going to learn how to install and set up PfSense Firewall on VMware Workstation. So we pretty much are going to download the ISO image of PfSense, upload it into VMware Workstation, set it up the professional way. Now, when I started doing research on how to install and use PfSense Firewall to protect my network, I have done a lot of research on YouTube, and every video that I watched left me with a lot of questions and answers. So I wasn't really confident and I wasn't really satisfied enough to share anything with you guys until those questions were answered. Now, I'm going to give credit to a YouTube channel called VMware Advisor. If you don't know him, just look it up on YouTube, VMware Advisor, and you will see the way he explained the installation and setup of PfSense Firewall. So after learning that and after testing it myself, I really loved it and decided that I'll share it with you guys. I will leave a link to the channel of VMware Advisor so that if you're interested on seeing how he explained it, you can always just click that and go check it out. So now, for those of you who are interested on setting up, like buying and setting up the real appliance from NetGate, which is like the main owner, I would say, of PfSense. Like they're the authorized dealer of PfSense. So I will be going through this appliance, just showing you the basics. I don't want to claim to be an expert of PfSense Firewall, but as far as it comes to plugging it into your network and get it going, I can help you guys with that, and I'll be explaining that to you guys. Now, let's say, first of all, PfSense is a free and open source software. So you don't need to spend a lot of money buying this to have it going on a network. You can download it, install it on VMware Workstation or VMware ESXi or your Proxmox or any other virtualization environment that you use. You can install it there and get it going, no problem. But those who are interested in actually getting the appliance to set it up, connect it to your switch and all that good stuff, I will just show you the basics. Now, when you first buy this, it comes loaded, like pre-installed with PfSense. PfSense already in it, ready to go. So all you have to do is, and for those who don't know, when you buy a router, because this is like a router, it's a firewall and a router at the same time, you don't want to automatically plug it into your network. That can create a lot of issues for you. So what you want to do, first things first, and what experts suggest is you're gonna get, you know what, it comes with this cable already. But if you buy it from somebody on eBay, on Amazon, which I don't recommend, but if you end up doing that and it doesn't come with this, just go on Amazon, buy this cable, and all you have to do, like the very first time you bring it at home, the electrical power goes right here, and you're gonna use this cable and you're gonna plug into this console port right here, like that. And once that's in there, and your ISP modem, like what we call modem, so you're gonna use that the cable, the RJ45 that goes from your ISP modem. You're gonna take that and you're gonna plug into the WAN port right here. Once that's done, once you connect the electrical power and you connect this to your modem, then you plug in this cable right here, and then this goes into your computer like this. So plug this into your computer and then just set it up. You're gonna set it up. You're gonna give it the IP address that you like, and so technically you're gonna have a, you're gonna automatically receive. It's gonna automatically get an IP address, the default one of 192.168.1.1. That's very common, and you're gonna just go to that address and you're gonna set it up. If you want to change to to use something different, because 192.168.1.1, that's what everybody use, and that's what is default. So if somebody hack into your network, they're gonna check that first and see if that's where your router is. So what I suggest, and what a lot of people suggest, is you changing that once you set it up. So you get there, change that to 10.0.0.1 or any other subnet that you want, then nobody will know. So you can do that initial setup using this. Now, what I also tried, and it worked for me, was this. I got this cable on Amazon. What I did is I plugged this. So first of all, once you have your modem connected on this port over here, this is going to go to your switch. This is going to go to your switch, and you can either connect this to your switch and into your computer for the setup, or you can just connect it right here in one of these ports over here to your computer for the setup. That I tried it and it worked for me. So you can do your own research and you can test it out and see if it works out for you. And what else? So that's how you do a basic setup of this NetGate appliance for PfSense Firewall. It's very easy. So I'm gonna say this again. So the very beginning, you're gonna plug the console port over here, the console cable over here to set it up, and once you give it an IP address and all that good stuff, then you remove it and then connect your switch right here. And if you set these ports up, you can use that for whatever else you want. We're gonna be going into the details on what you can use these ports for on VMware Workstation, so you can learn a lot more about it. And what we are going to do on VMware Workstation will apply real world into this appliance right here. I have tried it, tested it out, and it works perfectly fine. So that's all I had to say about this appliance right here. Now, what we are going to do is go to the website of NetGate, and I will show you guys how to download the ISO image of PfSense and get started. So thank you again for joining us today in this live stream, and I hope you guys enjoy it. I'll try my best to make it as fun, learning experience as possible, and I'll thank you guys for being here. Without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty. So first, what we're gonna do is go to the website. So this is the one I was explaining to you guys about, and this is the one I got. And to download the ISO image, you go to this website right here, pfsense.org/download. And so we're using the community edition, which is free. And you're gonna get to this part right here. And the first thing first is you're gonna select the AMD 64, the 64-bit. This is what we are going to use. And now Memstick is if you buy an appliance on eBay, Alibaba, or Amazon, you buy an appliance that can host the PfSense software. So you can use your USB key. Use the USB key to install. If you want to install it with a USB key, so you're gonna select this option and then plug the USB to the appliance and get it going just like that. But that's what we're not gonna do. We are interested in the ISO image for a virtualization. So you're gonna click that, and the mirror part is you're just gonna see whichever is closest to you, the closest to you, and you just select and then download. That's all you have to do to download PfSense software. Now I'm not gonna do it because I already have it downloaded, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and minimize this and open VMware Workstation. This is the hypervisor we're gonna be using for PfSense. So first things first, create a new virtual machine, and we're just gonna hit next. So we have installer this, so we're not gonna worry about this, and we're not gonna worry about this one yet. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just select install the operating system later, because then we will have the opportunity to do a few customizations and all that good stuff before actually uploading the ISO image. So just gonna go ahead and click next, and oh, for this we're gonna be selecting other and look for free BSD. Yes, and then we're gonna go ahead and click next, and we're gonna name it. You can name it whatever you want, but I'll just stick to PfSense, and then we're gonna hit next. So the path, my bad. Select where you want it to be, like you want where you want all the configuration files to be. So as you can see, I have already done a previous test and named it PfSense 2. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try PfSense. And it says please enter. Okay, so I'm not gonna be able to. It doesn't allow me to choose that because I have already done some tests, and we still have files here. I forgot to delete this folder. So what we're gonna do is I can just say 3 and see if that will work. If not, I'll just go ahead and make a new folder for it. Okay, let's just go ahead and make a new folder. It's all good. Make new and just name it PfSense. What happened? Let me try it again. I'm gonna name this one 3 since I have so many of them already. PfSense 3, and I'm gonna hit OK, and then we should be able to. Okay, cool. So the appliance I was showing to you guys has 32 gigs, and that's what is recommended by NetGate, for for PfSense to actually run properly. So I'll just go ahead and do the same. I'm just gonna give it 32 as if I was using the actual appliance right here. And I'm just gonna store it as a single file because we're not gonna be moving this virtual machine within environments and all that. So we're just gonna stick to store it as a single disk. That's fine, as a single file, I'll say. And then I'll just go ahead and hit finish. So now we're just gonna go ahead and make some edits. First, we're gonna bump the memory to the RAM to 2 gigs. 2 gigs. And processor, one processor with 2 cores. Yes, one with 2 cores should be enough, and we can just move on to so since we're gonna be doing a professional setup of PfSense, like imitating the 4 ports that I showed you guys on the appliance. So we're gonna be adding 3 more network adapters over here. But first, let's go ahead and remove the sound card since we're not gonna need it. I mean, if you want, you can just leave it, but I usually just leave it up to you guys. Sometimes I just leave them, sometimes I remove them. They don't really matter to me. So then we're gonna go ahead and add the network adapters. So that's gonna be 2 in total. Let me just go add 3 and 4. Awesome. So 4. So we have all these 4 added, and we're gonna just go ahead and first we're gonna leave it at NAT because we have to go in our VMware Workstation and create these extra 3 network adapters, and then come back and hit custom and then select them. So for now, we're just gonna leave it just like this and then come back to it. Now let's go back to VMware. So to edit the virtual network adapter, yep, right here. We're gonna go there and create those first. Let me bring this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so see, you guys are able to see this part, and as you can see, we have the basic network adapters, the default network adapters that that you have as soon as you download VMware Workstation. So we're gonna go ahead and just add the 3 adapters. So let me see. Yes, change settings, and it requires you to log in as an administrator, so before you can be able to do these changes. Bring it back up, and now we're just gonna go ahead and add our adapters. So you guys gonna hit add, and this one is gonna be the number 11, VMnet 11, which will be our LAN 11. Click OK, and we're gonna go ahead and rename it to LAN. So it's gonna be LAN 1, and then we're gonna go ahead and add another one. That's gonna be VMnet 12. Hit OK, and we're gonna rename that LAN 2. Hit OK, and then we're gonna add the last one. That's gonna be 13, VMnet 13, and we're gonna name that DMZ. Rename DMZ. Now, in case you don't know, DMZ in real world, it stands for demilitarized zone, and that in the network environment is the dangerous zone. Like, it's not protected as your network, as the inside of the network. So this is the outside, and it's between you and the internet. And for those who are into ethical hacking, what they usually do is they set up a DMZ where they usually host their Kali Linux machine, the attacker machine on this network, and actually imitate someone who is outside the network trying to hack into the network. So that's the purpose of a DMZ. A lot more people use it for different purposes. Like in the production environment, like some companies set up DMZs to set up honeypots in it. So it's like they set up a fake server with with important company data just to attract hackers and learn their ways of of attacking and all that. So that's why those are the purposes of a DMZ network. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the setup. Set every network adapter by starting with LAN 1. So for LAN 1, we're not gonna use DHCP. DHCP is gonna be off for all 3 of them. So we're gonna uncheck that, and the IP address we are going to give it is going to be 10. No. So it's going to be 10.0.0 network. this is gonna be a class A. Let me see. No, we're gonna keep it class C. So 255.255.255.0, a class C address. That's why we're gonna keep it as. And let me just double check that everything is how we want it to be. 10.0.0.0. Yep. And I'm just gonna go ahead and hit apply. And we're gonna let it update before moving to the next. Awesome. So LAN 1 is done. So we're gonna go ahead and edit LAN 2. First, we're gonna uncheck the DHCP because we do not want any of these networks to be issuing IP addresses left or right. We're gonna do that through PfSense. So we're gonna leave that as is. And for this, the IP address that we're gonna be using is 192.168.3 network. So .3.0. Yep. And it's going to be a class C as well. So 255.255.255.0. And yep, we're going to go ahead and hit apply on that one too. And the DMZ network is going to be a class B address. So first we're going to uncheck that. And we're going to go ahead and update all these. It's going to be on the 172.16.0.0. So this is a class B IP address, and that's why we're going to change the third octet to 0 as well. And we're going to go ahead and hit apply. So now we're going to have a 4 in total. So 4 in total to imitate the appliance that I showed you guys at the beginning of this live stream. So the first one is going to be the WAN. This is going to serve as the WAN for us. We're not going to touch it. We're going to leave it just like that. And that's the bridge mode. The bridge mode. And that will represent the WAN of our PfSense appliance, the WAN port. And then we have the 3 ports that we just installed. That we just configured. And every port has, as you can see, have a different IP address scheme. So if you're following along and you have this just like this, we're gonna go ahead and hit OK. Awesome. So now that we have that, we're gonna go back to our PfSense configuration and connect those. So remember, this is gonna stay like that. And the LAN 2 is gonna change to custom, and we're gonna select the LAN. The adapter number 2 is gonna connect to the LAN, and adapter number 3 is gonna connect to LAN 2, and adapter number 4 is gonna go to the DMZ. Alrighty. Let me just double check, make sure. Yep, that should be it. We're gonna go ahead and hit OK. I'm just double checking, making sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. And then we're gonna go ahead and power it off and power it on, I mean. And get started with the configuration. If we have done everything correctly, we shouldn't have any, PfSense shouldn't have any issues booting up. Let me grab a pen. Oh man. Guys, as you can see, it says operating system not found because I forgot to upload the ISO image. So I'm just gonna go ahead and power it off. Shut down gas. So if you are watching this and if you are following, you're following with me, try to not make that same mistake. For some reason, I'm so used to always uploading the ISO image during the setup that now every time I decide, I choose to upload it later, I always forget to upload it later. So we're gonna go ahead and choose use ISO image and then upload a PfSense. My bad, guys. It's been a long day. ISO images. Where is that folder? Let's find that folder. PfSense. Yes. Upload it. Hit OK. And now try powering on. And this time it should work. Apologies, guys. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and hit hit accept, and so we're gonna go with the first option, install PfSense, and the second option is if you mess up your your PfSense virtual machine, and you wanna reinstall it, you can use the rescue shell to do that, to get a really like a fine working version of your virtual machine, your PfSense virtual machine. And the third option, recover config.xml. This is if you mess up and you want to go back to the configuration file and make some some changes to save your virtual machine. So, but we're not gonna need any of these because we're just currently doing a fresh install. We're just gonna go ahead and stick to the default option and just hit enter on that. And as you can see, if you want your key map in any language, any other language other than English, you can just scroll down and just select what works best for you. I'm gonna stick to the default American English version and just hit enter. And we are going to stick to the default here as well and just hit OK on that one. So we're gonna proceed with the installation. Hit enter to stick to enter and stick to the defaults. You can never go wrong with going with the defaults, guys. And let me see. We can hit OK on that one, the space bar to select, and then hit OK to continue. And for ZFS, are you sure you want to destroy the current? Yes, we'll go ahead and say yes, because we don't have anything in there, so we don't have to worry about destroying anything. Hit enter. Are you sure? So let me just double check this. Pool name, select, install, and no redundancy. Yeah, we don't really have to worry about setting up all these. So let's just go ahead and select this. Oh yeah, spacebar to select. Hit the spacebar to select, and not enough disk selected. Okay, let's go back and go with a RAID. We just go ahead with a RAID 10 or 1. Let's try RAID Z1. Not enough disk selected. Have an idea. Let's go back. No. Tab. I'm gonna hit tab to cancel. Oh man, let me see what the instructions say here. Back. Have to go back. We're gonna go ahead and try in my first test I tried with no redundancy, and it did not give me any issues. So I guess they made an update, and we now are required to select an option for redundancy. An even number, this must be selected. 1 and 0. Okay, gotcha. So we're gonna select 1, and we're gonna go ahead and control. RAID Z2. Minimum for now. You know what? We're not gonna go for RAID Z2. Oh man. Single redundant. This should be good. Recommended for 3. Stripe provide the best performance, but at least strong. 4 plus and 2 plus. The best performance with the least storage. So we're not gonna worry about that. Let me see. The ZFS. Dun, dun, dun. ZFS configuration. Let's hit that and hit OK. Not enough deselected. Let's go back. Dun, dun, dun. I have an idea. So no redundancy. Should provide maximum redundancy, but no redundancy. So that means it's mandatory that we select this. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Let me see. I have no idea when they did this update. ZFS configuration. So we select that. Hit OK, and it says that an even number. So RAID 10 must be selected to create a RAID 1 plus. Only 1 selected. Okay. Select that. Not enough. Okay, let me go ahead and hit cancel on that. And let me go ahead and, you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and cancel this one too and make a different selection because this is not working for us. Enough this, encrypt this, no. So everything else is good except pool type. Let's see if Stripe 1. I'm gonna hit cancel on that and just restart. Yeah, because we're not gonna. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, next. Auto ZFS. Manual this setup. Auto ZFS. So technically, if we choose the auto ZFS, we shouldn't be asked. Proceed with installation. Select virtual device type, and we're gonna go ahead with no redundancy. Let's try no redundancy and see. And that doesn't work. Last chance. Are you sure you want to destroy the current content? We're gonna say yes and move on. Alrighty. So the ZFS, the RAID configuration was definitely added to the recent update, because the last time I tested PfSense, I did not had any issue with that option. Manual configuration. So we're just gonna stick to, for manual configuration, we're just gonna say no, because we are new to this, and we don't really have to do any manual partitioning and all that. So we're just gonna go ahead and hit no. Select no, hit enter, and then reboot, and that should be it. Okay. Now the software is being set up, and it's installing all the dependencies and configuring everything for us to just move on. This shouldn't take that long. So as you can see, for the WAN network, we have 192.168 and all that good stuff. And for the LAN, we also have 192.168 and all that good stuff. So we're not gonna leave this like that, because then we'll be in a lot of trouble. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select option 2 and then set up a new interface, and that's gonna be the LAN interface that we set up. The .10 network, we're gonna use that over here, because technically this is gonna be playing the role of an ISP, your internet service provider, and that's the IP they give you. So that we're gonna leave that in change, but we're gonna go ahead and change the local area network network over here, the IP address. So we're gonna go ahead and select number 2 and hit enter. And we're gonna select again number 2, because we want it's the LAN interface that we want to change. So, and as you can see, the second option is for the LAN. So we're gonna hit 2 again and hit enter. And then it asks for the IP address that we want. And if you remember, the IP address for the LAN is supposed to be 10.0.0.0. But for this, we're gonna use we're not gonna put that 0, because that's the network ID. So we're gonna put the last octet is gonna be that 254, just as a VMware advisor suggested. But you can really put anything you want here. So 10.0.0.1 is an option, or you can put .2, that's an option. You can put .200, that's an option. You can put anything you want here, really. So we're gonna go ahead and stick to 254 and hit enter. And it's asking for the net mask, and as you can see, the /24, the 24-bit, let me bring the mouse back up. So this is a class C address, .0, and the bit count is 24, that's a class C. And you have the bit count of 16, that's a class B. And if you remember, we selected one network that will play that role. And that's, I think, the DMZ. The DMZ, yep, the DMZ is gonna be a class C. And this is a class A. So what we want here is a class C address. So we're gonna put the bit count of 24. You cannot write 255.255.255.0. You have, it's asking for the bit count. And yes, let's type 24 and move on. And let me see. We're gonna hit enter for this one, and we're gonna hit enter for this one, and we're gonna select N for the DHCP, because if you remember, we decided that we were gonna choose the DHCP through the firewall interface, through PfSense interface. And for the HTTP, yeah, we're gonna just skip no on this one too, and then hit enter on that, and it should finalize it. Okay, let me see. Yep. Please enter. Hit enter to continue. So we're just gonna go ahead and just hit enter. And as you can see, we have it right here, the new IP address. So let's go ahead and try going there. So, and that was 10.0.0.254, 10.0.0.254, and there we go. And this is the interface that you're first greeted with when you go to the address, you know, after freshly installing PfSense. And we're gonna put the default credentials, which is, if I remember correctly, admin is the username, not in caps, just lower case, admin, and PfSense, and hit enter, and here we are officially logged in. So we're gonna go ahead with the configuration, and we're gonna hit next on that one. The hostname PfSense is fine. We're gonna leave it as is, and the domain. If you have a website that you would actually like to use, like if you have a domain name that you want to use, you can go ahead and do that. I have that's what I'm gonna try here. I have executor.com. So that way it will become pfsense.executor.com. So yep, execute.com. If you don't have a domain name, you can just stick to the default, which is fine. Now for the DNS, we want to be able to see the internet. We want to see the internet, so we're going to be using the DNS, Google's DNS, I'll say, and that will be 8.8.8.8. And the alternate, the secondary, we're going to go with 1.1.1, which is Cloudflare's DNS. Awesome. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna keep the server hostname as is, and we're gonna go ahead and select our time zone. Let me see. Mine is definitely not in Europe. Mine is America. Let me see. Yes, America. And D for Den. D for Denver. Yes, this is my current time zone. And now we're gonna get to the WAN interface. Awesome. So if you're setting this at home, you're gonna just keep DHCP, because then it will automatically just grab an IP address from your ISP, so you don't have to do a lot of work. But if it's in a production environment, like corporations and all that, they always have a static IP because they already know what IP address they want to use for this one. So, and we're gonna try the same. We're gonna try the same, and we're gonna choose a static, and we're gonna put a specific one. So we're gonna put 192.168.1.240. So I'll say this again. This is the WAN interface that you are setting. So if you are doing this real world, you're gonna call your ISP, your internet service provider, and ask them about your IP address in case you don't know it, and you will put that right here. And it's always most 99% of the time it's gonna be a /24. But get those details with your ISP if you're actually setting this in a production environment. If not, you can just choose this one. It'll work fine. So let's go ahead and the gateway. We're gonna stick to the default. A default. We're gonna keep that, and we're not gonna be worrying about configuring the triple PoE because we're not gonna be setting that here. And the point-to-point protocol, we are currently not setting that, so we're just gonna leave that as is. And we're gonna leave these two boxes checked because that's what allows us to currently be on this web on this interface over here. You can have a lot of issues if you check these and you don't know what you're doing. So just go with the default. And the LAN, as you can see, the LAN is already there, and that's what we chose. That's what we selected. We're gonna go ahead and just hit next, and it will ask us to change our admin password. So I suggest you choose something strong for this. If you're using it for a production environment, choose something strong, but that you will be able to remember, be easily remembered. And then you're gonna hit next, and then reload it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit finish over here. And this is what you're graded with. This is the interface you're graded with every time you're done with the wizard, the configuration wizard. This is how you see it. And as you can see, it automatically grabbed the internal DNS server IP address, and it got this from our VMware Workstation, and these are the two that we selected, the public ones. Now corporations usually never use these. They have their own DNS servers that they set up for security purpose. So this is PfSense, the dashboard of PfSense, freshly installed. And as you can see, we only have 2 ports here, 2 interfaces. And if you remember, we want 4 interfaces in total. So that means we're gonna go ahead and add the extra 2 over here so that we can see them. Remember, we have LAN 2 and DMZ, and we don't see them here. So the way we do that is easy. We're just gonna go ahead and hit interfaces, and these are the 2 we have. So interface assignments, and we will see this right here. We're gonna add that, and we're also gonna add the DMZ, and go ahead and just rename them appropriately. First, we're gonna enable it because it's not automatically enabled. You have to enable it. Check that box and call this LAN 2. LAN 2, just like that. It doesn't really matter. LAN 2. And let's double check, make sure that it's static. LAN 2. It's gonna be static because we have a we have an IP address that we would like to give it. So we're gonna go ahead, skip all these, leave it to default, and we're gonna come and put the IP address for LAN 2, which was the .3 network. .3 network, this one right here. LAN 2.3, yep. 192.168.3.254. We're gonna go ahead and select the bit count, which is a 24. Alrighty, so moving on, we're gonna go ahead and leave these two unchecked and just hit save. And if you're new to PfSense, every time you save, you make changes and you save, you have to hit apply changes before it can actually take effect. Yep, and that is done. So LAN 2 is good to go. We're gonna go ahead and choose option 2, which is gonna be the DMZ interface, enable interface, and then name it DMZ. And we're gonna choose a static IP as well, because we already know the IP address we want to give it. And this is gonna be yep, that one right here, the class B IP address that we selected, and it's gonna be a /16, class B/16. Yep, and we're gonna leave everything as is for the DMZ. Let me just double check, make sure. Okay. Yep. Hit save and hit apply changes. And the DMZ network interface is good to go as well. So let's go back to the dashboard, and we can see them right here. So let me just double check the LAN and make sure that the LAN is good to go. Yep, LAN is good to go, everything else is good to go. So first things first, let's go ahead and customize this a little bit. So in case you're new, if you want, you can add extra stuff in here, like matrix and graphs and all that good stuff, so you can see so you can have you can be better informed on what is going on either every interface or all the interfaces and all that good stuff. So what are we going? Traffic graphs. We're gonna add a traffic graph, and this allows you to see all the traffic in every interface right here, and that should be enough. But I mean, it's up to you really. You can just come back and see anything else that you wanna see. You can interface statistics. You can add that if you want, and yes, that's why we. Oh yes, over here, interface statistics. That way you see the details, how many, like the amount of packets that are going in and out, and all that good stuff. It's up to you. Try to just poke around and learn more about it, in case you're new to this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that we can see the internet. We have internet connectivity, and we're gonna go ahead to diagnostics, and we're gonna try to complete a few pings. First things first, we're gonna test. Let me see. So we're gonna ping Google.com right here, and we're gonna try to test. It's gonna be IPv4. We're gonna leave that as is, and the source we're gonna test the WAN first. WAN interface. We're gonna leave everything as is, and we're gonna see if we have network connectivity, and Google could not be resolved. Google.com could not be resolved. which means we have made a mistake somewhere. So you know what? Let me just try the LAN also. That way, there we can go back and double check and see, and do some troubleshooting. Packet loss. Okay. So that means since the WAN is not working, that's why all these done. So let's go back and do some troubleshooting and figure out what is going on. So the WAN interface we have 192.168. So IP address, we don't have to worry about that. We're gonna select none. Yes. IP4, IP address. Upstream gateway. Gateway is good to go. Let's apply changes and check something. So you know what? First things first. Let's just go back to PfSense and actually hit enter and see all the changes. So the WAN, we have that. LAN, we have that. LAN 2 has that. And the DMZ has that. So there shouldn't be any issues. These have already been applied. Okay. Let's go back to the home page. 240. Let's just what I'm also going to do is double check these are good to go. Make sure we didn't make any mistake somewhere. Okay, LAN 2, LAN 3. I'm gonna do some quick troubleshooting and make sure that everything is good to go. Auto bridging, that's good. So technically, you can leave auto bridging or select the NIC that you have, like the interface that you have, and this is the connection here. I don't know if that makes a difference, because when we choose automatic, it's just gonna go ahead and see all the internet connections that you have to your device, and it should automatically choose it. But we're gonna select this one on purpose just to be on the safe side. And these two we're not gonna mess with. This and that. We're gonna leave them as is. And let's double check and make sure everything is good to go. This is a /24. Connected /24 3 DMZ is fine. Okay, just making sure. And over here everything is good to go. 240, then 254, then 254. Okay, so that also seems like it's good to go. And this finally loaded. Let's double check the WAN is where it's supposed to be. 240, yep. And that is good, that is good, that is good. And DNS servers are good to go. Trading statistics, okay. So if that is the case, we shouldn't have any issues. We shouldn't have any issues. DSP, let me see. There's IPv6, but none. Alrighty, I think I know. I have an idea of why we're not able to ping, but let me just try it one more time. Google.com before, so we're testing the WAN. Yeah, guys, it's you have to get used to troubleshooting. So every time you are working on a project and you run into an issue, just get comfy troubleshooting, because that's what IT is really about. So let me see, status DHCP leases. This is where the problem is. First, let's start with the WAN. No. That's good. I have an idea. Let's go back to PfSense here. So I'll try something real quick. We're gonna try to select option 2 and the LAN, and we're gonna repeat and try that again. So LAN is 10.0.0.254. That's what we chose. Yes. and it's on 24. Yes. For the WAN, enter the new LAN IP upstream gateway. For the LAN, press none. So we're gonna hit none, and the new IPv6 address we're gonna hit none because we don't want to set up the IPv6, and we're gonna enable DHCP over here, and the range is gonna be 10.0.0.10 to 10.0.0.250. What are we gonna do? 255, 254, I mean. Let me see. 240. Let's go with 240 as suggested by VMware advisor. Oh, you know what? My bad. We're supposed to enter the start only. Enter the start first, and then enter the ending address. It's 240. Yes. Hit enter. And we're gonna select no for that one, for the web configuration. Alrighty. So it remains the same. The only difference is that we selected we decided to enable DHCP. So let's come over here, refresh this. This is taking a minute to refresh. Let me just try to go to a fresh 10.0.0.254. It's just taking some time to load. Okay, while that is loading, let's go back to PfSense to make sure that we everything is good to go. So the WAN is good to go. WAN is good to go. The WAN's IP address. Everything is good to go. 912. Okay, let's if we try pinging Google and it doesn't work, we're gonna be choosing a DHCP to get a to get an IP address instead, and see if that will work. Oh, let me just double check, make sure. We said the router is the gateway is that. So if the gateway is that, shouldn't be any problem. Okay, let's find out. troubleshooting, guys. Ping. Google, let's go. 954. We're gonna start with the WAN. If it doesn't work, we're gonna try a DHCP option. See, maybe that might work. But yeah, man, if you are new to PfSense, I suggest you just do a lot more research and you know, poke around and just learn all the little details. It's not something that you can just learn right off the bat. So this is not pinging because we probably made a mistake on the configurations of the WAN interface, but I'm about to try editing the configuration and see. First, let's try the LAN and see the LAN, if the LAN can see the internet, and no. Okay. Upstream. Let me quickly choose the DHCP option and see if that will make a difference. Because technically, if you are setting this one at home, you will automatically receive an IP address, and that's what we're about to try and see. Okay, now it has refreshed, and this is the IP address it gave us, and we're gonna stick to that. And before changing that to what we want, we're gonna leave that as is, because in the real world we're actually gonna be we're gonna be receiving this from the ISP. We're not gonna be messing with it, so we're just gonna leave it as is and try pinging Google and see if we can see the internet, because that's the last thing that we really need to do, and for the purpose of this this video over here. But we're not gonna end it until we can see the internet. And there we go, guys. There we go. We can see the internet. We have internet connection, so that's it. The WAN is good to go. Now we're gonna go ahead and try the LAN. Make sure that we have internet connections for that interface as well. And as you can see, there's a packet loss. That should, you know what? Maybe it just needs some time. So we're just gonna give it some time and go back and try it again. But so far we are in business. We are good to go. So far we are good to go. So in a second video, I'll be making a second video to show you guys how to set up you know, the firewall rules, because as you can see, if we go to firewalls and then we hit rules, we see we have no rules over here. The only rules that we have is just the default one that allows us to be in this current interface, and that's why this is, you know, this is automatic, this is default, and you will never mess with them. But the interfaces that we have created, if you look, so this is also here as default because you know, of the boxes that we left checked when we were going through the wizard, and that's what also allows us to be here, to come to this interface, be able to work with it. And if you see LAN 2 in the DMZ, there's nothing in there, so we're going to be setting up firewall rules over here that will allow us to do a lot more, you know, a lot more cool stuff. For example, like isolating the DMZ and not allow it to talk to any of these interfaces over here, and allow maybe this interface to connect to the DMZ if we want. We're gonna do a lot of cool stuff in the next video, and we're gonna be following the guidance that that I learned from VMware Advisor to set up those rules. That will be a fun one. So for the purpose of this this tutorial over here, we're gonna go ahead. So we were able to see the internet with the WAN, and we're gonna go ahead and make sure that our LAN and our LAN 2 and the DMZ can also see the internet. But first, let me just go to PfSense to refresh, make sure that hit enter, and make sure we are good to go. So as you can see, it updated the WAN interface IP address, which is fine. And let me just go back so we can test the connectivity on the other interfaces, and we will go ahead and end this streaming. Ping, and we're gonna try Google again, and this time we're gonna leave IP version 4 because we didn't set up an IP version 6, and we're gonna try with LAN 2 and see if we can see the internet with that interface. And as you can see, we can see the interface. We can see the internet. That just means it works. So if we were to open a terminal and ping Google using, let's say we install a virtual machine on this interface, and we go through the terminal of that virtual machine and ping Google, we will have the same result, which means that we have internet connectivity. So we're gonna try the DMZ and see if the DMZ can also see the internet. And the DMZ can also see the internet. So all the interfaces here can see the internet, which takes us to the end of this tutorial, because this is all I had in mind for the purpose of this this tutorial over here. It was to show you guys how to first use VMware and install additional network adapters to make it look like a real world setup using a PfSense, using a NetGate appliance. And we went ahead and did that, and setting up LAN and LAN 1, LAN 2 and LAN 3, and LAN 3, which is the DMZ. So we were able to do all this, and we were able to configure all these interfaces using the GUI, the graphical user interface. So setting up the DNS, the public DNS of Google and Cloudflare, and adding these metrics over here to the home page, and making sure that we have internet connection, internet connectivity with all these interfaces over here. And that's why we were able to prove using the ping option over here. So in future video, we're gonna go ahead and set up the firewall rules, and that will be a fun one. Yep, and that's it, guys. That is it. Well, everybody, I thank you for keeping up with me in this live stream. I'm not an expert, of PfSense, as I said at the beginning, by any means, but I learned everything that I just showed you, and I'll be adding a link to VMware Advisor's YouTube content, so you can also check it out. He goes in a lot more detail, and you can tell he's been working in the industry for years. And you can check it out and see if there are some questions that that are left unanswered, and you guys can find out the answer to those questions through his video, or checking out another video on YouTube, or doing some Google searching, or simply just posting a question, and I'll go ahead and just help you guys with answers. I hope you guys were able to learn as I did, and in future video, whether it will be a live stream or a recorded version, we will be learning how to set up the firewall rules, and that will be the phase 2 of this home lab project that I have for you guys. And
every single time I find a really cool thing, that I think you guys will enjoy, I'll always come and share it with you guys so that together we can be learning these things and getting better at IT in general. And one day start hacking machines, because the purpose of this channel is to really do cybersecurity, is to do ethical hacking, and I have to make sure that we cover all the basics, learn all the basics. We're not gonna skip all that, take shortcuts, and jump into cybersecurity, because that's how you end up becoming overwhelmed, becoming anxious, and then and that's when you usually end up, you get to a crossroad where everything is just too much, and you feel like you're not smart enough to learn these things, and that's how you usually just lose hope and motivation and give up. That's why. And that's true for everything. Anything you want to do in life, always start with the basics. As long as you keep your eyes on the prize, you know the destination you want to get to, but you spend time with the basics. Learn the basics, master the basics, and progressively keep climbing, because I don't know you guys, but for me, the sky is the limit. So I thank you guys for being part of this live streaming again, and I'll just go ahead and ask you guys to please help and support my channel, help subscribe, so you can always stay notified every time I have a new video, and share it with people that you think might be interested, and that also helps me grow the channel, and that gives me motivation. As long as I know some people are interested in this, I'll always keep doing research and sharing what I learn with you guys, so that you guys can also be learning these things, because together we can reach the sky if we really want to. There's nothing that stops us. I do this as a hobby, and I enjoy doing it. I enjoy making these mistakes live, and troubleshooting and figuring things out, just to prove to you guys that you don't have to be born a smart or a genius person to do these things. It's just in your heart. If your heart desires, there's nothing that should stop you. Make some time and spend time on the things that you really want in life, and I promise you, you will achieve them. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. That being said, thank you guys, and again, I will be seeing you guys in video number 2. I'm not sure when I'll get time. I'll be able to make time for that, but video number 2 is coming, so we can continue setting up the firewall rules, and that should be the end of the whole entire project. Thank you again, and God bless, guys.